All right, welcome to AutoLISP Fundamentals. Let's explore the concept of Booleans in Lisp. There's actually no Booleans in Lisp, but there are a couple things that might make us believe that there is. There's two things we need to be aware of that might pertain to the concept of Booleans. That's nil and the constant known as t. So nil means the absence of a value. This is your false. Although it's not true false, it's best to think of nil as absence of any value. That's probably the best way to think of it. And then the constant t, that's what you're used to being as true. Although in Lisp, since there's no true, t actually means, I think a good way to put it is anything but nil. Okay, this means any value, any sort of value, and this is our true. And we can see a good example of this if we write an if statement. So if we do an if statement, normally people do, you can do like an and check, and you could say something like true and true. And this in any other language would return true. However, since there's no concept of true, when we do our if predicate check, we can pass either the absence of any value or we can pass any value. So if we pass nil into this, so here would be our success function that gets ran. So let's alert the user that we have success. And then we can do, just so we know this is an else statement, we will alert of failure. And when we run this, because nil is the absence of any value, aka our false, this would be a true. If we were to have true, aka anything but nil, this function will run. However, when we have no value, the absence of any value, we're actually going to get this failure statement. So let's test that here. And we get failure as expected when we pass nil into this. However, now other than nil, we can pass anything but nil. So we don't have to pass the constant t, although we can do that and still get success. Let's do that now. So we still get success, but we don't have to pass t. We can pass anything but nil. So if we pass a 2 into this, the integer 2, we will still get a success because it is anything but nil. And those are our Booleans in Lisp. As always, look at your documentation. I'll put this in the description below about nil and the constant t. Those will be in the description.